freight agent, freight broker, carrier, getting your own customers. Today, let's talk about how hard are you willing to work for those customers. Hello, everyone. It's Rob, CDM Freight Brokers, coming back to you. I want to talk to you today about how hard are you going to work for your customers. Getting into the freight business is hard. I've talked about this a little bit on the qualities to become a freight broker agent, a freight broker, or even if you're a carrier trying to retain your own customers. Getting customers it's not as easy as one thinks. So what I want to talk to you about is it's hard enough to get customers, but once you actually get a customer, you have to ask yourself, how hard are you willing to work for that customer? And what I mean by this is that when you choose to partner with the customer, because the first part of getting with the customer is you got to kind of qualify the customer. They actually have freight that they want to move. And if you have the equipment that matches it, and pricing and all that factor, credit worthiness, there's that whole aspect. So once you get past all of that, the next part you have to really, this is the part I really want you to sit back. You're either an existing freight agent, looking to become a freight agent, you're a carrier or an owner-operator and you want to go out and get your own authority, whatever the case is, but you want to work with direct customers. Just getting that customer doesn't mean getting the customer. It's a business partnership. And when you get a customer, you're entering into that customer's supply chain. So this is the question you have to ask yourself. What segment of the supply chain is that customer in? Meaning, if they're, for example, a production plant with machinery used to produce things, well, if they have you shipping for their raw goods to bring in, they also may have you that if the plant goes down, if the part breaks down, that they want to phone someone at 1 a.m. to get a hot shot, or they need a part team driven across the country, 2 pallets of parts to come from one end of the country to the other, and they expect a team driver and they want to be able to reach you at 10 o'clock at night or 6 o'clock on Saturday morning or Sunday morning that you can get a truck. So you have to ask yourself, how hard are you willing to work for that customer? Are you willing to be on call for that customer? So just ask yourself and look at the customer. For example, if you don't like that being on call any time of day for that customer, then you're looking for the customers where, for example, they say, okay, hey Rob, we got this load for you to ship, and the place that we deliver to requires 48 hours notice for a delivery appointment. So when you're getting those kind of facilities and you have to do a 48-hour notice delivery appointment, well, all the panic goes away because you have to book the truck in advance, you got to get the appointment, there's procedures there. But if you work for a company where it's urgent, maybe it's a construction company and something happens and they need a part, or it's oil field related and they need equipment, drill bits, various pumps that need to get shipped, hot shot, or if it's a production plant where stuff needs it. Maybe the raw goods, that the last load of raw goods they received, there was a quality control issue and they can't use it. So they need team drivers to pick up and get another load. Otherwise, that whole plant goes down and it's costing them hundreds of thousands of dollars. So whether you're a small brokerage or a big brokerage, when you're entering a customer, whether they're a $2 to $3 to $5 million business or they're a 20 to 50 million business, just because you get that customer's freight, you have to ask yourself, how hard are you willing to work for that customer? Because there are shippers out there where when you get in with them, all they're going to do is they put your name on a list. You're among 5, 10, 12 brokers that they email out, and they're looking for the cheapest rate. But there's a lot of freight out there, I can tell you, that's not on the load boards, that requires due care and attention, requires your commitment as a broker, and that you're partners. You have the urgency that the customer has. When the customer says, our plant is down, you totally understand what that means. You know that their whole entire crew, their staff is on standby waiting for this. And when they hire you to get that part, that raw commodity, whatever it is, to the field where the crew is working, or at a production plant, or whatever the case is, that your sense of urgency is in line with theirs, and that you're not just slacking on it, that you take on the urgency and you're going to work your butt off to solve and help get that plant up and running. You're a partner with them. So ask yourself those questions. When you think that getting the holy grail is to get that direct shipper, it can be, but it can come with a cost. Just yesterday, for example, was Saturday, and I spent my whole morning. I was booking loads until I think Friday night, 6:30, 7 o'clock, and Sunday morning I was following up. I had a whole bunch of deliveries, I had pickups at plants, and I was also booking freight on a Sunday for picking up Monday. So I gave up my part of my weekend to service my customers. But I know that it happens. And so are you willing to do that? Are you willing to accept a call on Saturday night? You might be at a friend's dinner, and when they call, that you're going to stop what you're doing and go book that truck. So you evaluate. It's hard enough to get into the customers, but once you do, examine them and understand their needs and what their expectations are, and ensure that the services that you're willing to provide match that. There's no point. It doesn't help any business to partner with them. And if you want to be that broker where the customer's got all kinds of freight, they got some great freight and some less great freight, and you only want a service when their great freight's available, well, that may work for a little bit. But customers will see through that, and they're going to see that person that works hard for them on the hard freight. They're going to give rewards to the agent with the good freight. So just be aware of that. I'm not saying there's no right, there's no wrong, but just be aware, because I've been doing this long enough. I've had calls, shipments where I've had teams with plants down. I've had to give every 2-hour updates for 3 to 4 days. So literally, I'm waking up every 2 hours, touching base with the drivers, communicating to a big, long email thread of people every 2 hours. Are you willing to do that? Ask yourself these questions, and then find the type of customers for the freight that you want to serve. Just be aware of it when you're entering the world of logistics, whether I said as a broker agent, or carrier getting direct customers. It doesn't matter. But do yourself justice for your business and service the customers that you're willing to service and how much you're willing to put into it. Hopefully this helps you out.